Have you ever wondered what would become of all those people who are locked up in prisons across the country if there were a long-term grid down situation or a global collapse? On average, there are roughly 2.2 million people being held prisoner, and that's just in America. There are many more millions locked up across the world. This is a subject that I've heard talked about before, but I've only heard one scenario out of a possible four that could occur. Now, it stands to reason that the government would try to maintain these facilities as long as possible, but eventually they would come to a crossroads if order is not established. So today we're going to discuss four possibilities and the ramifications of each. So let's get started. Possibility number one, they are left there to die. Something that never seems to cross the minds of people who have discussions on this subject. In fact, the only mind I've seen this scenario cross was Stephen King's, because that's exactly what was done with prisoners in his post-apocalyptic book, The Stand. They were forgotten and left to die. And that is exactly what could happen, and happen very quickly if there is no running water left in the facilities. If there is a national or global disaster that comes upon us quickly, this scenario could very likely happen. These people could be forgotten and left to die. Now you may be thinking, well, they could escape. And I'll ask you, have you seen the inside of one of these facilities? I have. I used to work for the Juvenile Justice Authority, and even those facilities are incredibly secure. Prisoners simply are not getting out without outside assistance, and that is not very likely in most cases. And even if someone from the outside broke in, they are likely looking for specific individuals and will ignore the rest. Which brings us to possibility number two. Someone tries to maintain the prison condition. I know, it sounds ludicrous, and it is, but you can't put crazy past anyone, and I could see some nut trying to maintain the prison as long as he could to keep them all contained because he doesn't want to let them go, and he knows that if he leaves them there and doesn't try to maintain the prison, they will all die, and he feels guilty about that somehow. Ultimately, this would completely fail because the resources would run out very quickly, or he would mess up and get himself killed, and at least some of the prisoners would escape anyway. Possibility number three, they are all executed. You don't think this one is likely? Well, it's not like this scenario hasn't played out in the past, is it? Don't put it past a desperate government to order large-scale emergency executions, and don't think there aren't people willing to follow those orders. Or think about it like this. It only takes one guard who has issues, who hates his job, to walk through the entire facility and execute everyone helpless in their cells. Something he could have been fantasizing about for years. You just never know with some people. Or perhaps some outside group wants to secure the prison to use as a headquarters. Prisoners in that scenario would just be in the way. And finally, possibility number four, that they all get released. And this is the one that you all hear about on prepper channels all the time. Why? Because this is the scariest sounding scenario. And many channels love fear-mongering to their viewers with titles like, "In SHTF, hordes of violent freed prisoners will ravage the country." Here's the thing. Although in a long-term grid down, there is the possibility that prison doors could swing open, that doesn't mean all of them are going to be a problem. In fact, the majority of people in prison are there for non-violent crimes. And better yet, many of them are probably even innocent. According to the government's own watchdog groups, 39% of the people currently incarcerated in the US shouldn't even be there. But that's a whole other discussion. Now, I'm not discounting that there are many violent prisoners who would be problematic if they suddenly found themselves free. But these individuals do not count for the majority of prison populations. Also keep in mind that also they may be skilled in prison survival. That doesn't mean they have the skills that would be necessary in a post-apocalyptic survival situation, and that would put them on the same playing field with most other people, being no more or less dangerous than any other desperate person in an SHTF situation. So which of these scenarios are the most realistic? Well, if I were to hazard a guess, I would say a combination of all of them. There are more than 5,000 correctional facilities of all types in the US alone, and I could see any number of different scenarios playing out due to that large number. So what do you think? Do you have an opinion on the subject? Feel free to post your thoughts in the comment section down below and get a discussion going. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got anything out of it, and I hope that it at least got you thinking. Share the video if you can and subscribe if you are new. Check out some of the other videos and remember to hit the notifications icon so you can hopefully be alerted to new content as it comes out. So all that being said, stay frosty folks, and thanks for watching.